Common vocabs for IELTS hard level. 61 to 90 vocabulary. Counterpart. A person or thing with the same function as another in a different place. Example: years after the war in Vietnam, General Westmoreland of the American Army criticized the strategies of his counterpart from the North, General Gyap. Induce. To cause to happen. Example: staring at the small screen of a smartphone while on a car or train can induce headaches and motion sickness. Probe. To explore and learn about using hands or a tool. Example: the new camera is designed to probe the interiors of blood vessels, giving a detailed view that doctors have never had before now. Meticulous, which means to with careful attention to details. Example: overconfident students may understand how to solve math problems, but not be meticulous in their calculations, resulting in wrong answers. Fraudulent, fake or untrue, generally of illegal claims. Example: since I have no background in medicine, if I advertise my services as a doctor, I'd soon be arrested for making the fraudulent claim. Strive. To try hard to achieve something. Example: every day he strives to be on time to work, but despite his honest efforts, he is late more often than not. Tedious, long and boring. Example: when asked to memorize every capital city in the world, Michael didn't understand why his teacher had asked him to do such a tedious task. Propagate. To spread widely, create more of. Example: Copernicus first wrote that the Earth revolved around the Sun, but it was Galileo who later propagated the idea to wider audience. Recede. To go back to a previous position. Example: before a tsunami hits, the water recedes, which is dangerous for those who unknowingly go to investigate before the big waves come rushing in. Mundane, ordinary and boring. Example: although Jane knew being a lawyer would pay well, it seemed too mundane, so she left law school to pursue dreams of becoming a celebrity chef. Strenuous, requiring a lot of physical effort. Example: one of the most strenuous races on Earth, the Ironman triathlon, requires swimming 2.4 miles, biking 112 miles, and then running a marathon. Analogous. Similar in some respects but otherwise different. Example: there are few animals that form partnerships analogous to marriage, but among them are eagles, wolves, and even some fish. Pale, with very little color. Example: the cover of the book was originally bright red, but it became a pale pink after sitting in the sun for 3 months. Covert, secret or hidden. Example: the attack was intended to be covert, but before it could begin, the entire plan was revealed to the target. Anomaly. Something that is not normal, standard, or expected. Example: after finding anomalies in the data from her experiment on the effects of caffeine on turtles, and decided to start again. Fatigue. Extreme tiredness from too much work. Example: the 3-day hula hooping contest left even the most experienced hula hoopers limp with fatigue. Exhaustive. Complete and very detailed. Example: Wikipedia makes no claim to be an exhaustive encyclopedia, as many more obscure topics don't even have pages. Encroach. To move very near an acceptable limit. Example: the US president's ability to give military orders without declaring war encroaches on the Congress's authority in giving the formal declaration. Plead. To ask for, emotionally, to beg. Example: crying, the new driver pleaded with the officer not to give her a speeding ticket, but he refused to listen, his face emotionless. Dissipate. Two completely separate in all directions. Example: 3 days after I accidentally cooked a mouse that had crawled into my oven, the smell still hasn't dissipated. Outgoing. Comfortable when talking to other people. Example: Dave is outgoing and confident nowadays, especially at parties, but few know that he struggled with social anxiety earlier in life. Congregate. To come together into a crowd. Example: as the protester spoke, she drew more and more listeners, who slowly congregated around her to show support for her cause. Carve. To cut from a hard material. Example: with careful strokes of a sharp blade, the sculptor carved his beautiful statue from a single piece of wood. Instrumental. Acting as a key part of a process. Example: the university believed that passion was instrumental to learning. Without it, you'd be wasting your time in class. Jolt. To suddenly move or push hard. Example: when the traffic light turned green, all of Mike's passengers suddenly felt a jolt as he pushed his foot down hard on the gas pedal. Ailment. A small sickness or cause of physical discomfort. Example: at the age of 80, my grandfather is lucky to have no major illness and struggle with only a small number of minor ailments. Blunt. Not sharp. Example: the blunt knife can't cut the bread, it barely can cut the butter. Cherish. To care for lovingly. Example: although it was far less beautiful than her more expensive clothing, Leah cherished the dress her mother had made by hand. Transitory. Lasting a very short time. Example: if we lived forever and life was not transitory, do you think we would appreciate life less or more? Relic. A highly valued object from a very long time ago. Example: among the relics held in Notre Dame Cathedral is a piece of wood believed to be part of the cross on which Jesus died. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment.